ongoing action. Should remind everybody with the Bundy Ranch, number one, is they were going to attack in 2012. They didn't because of the election. Bottom line. Plan was still to get everything in place, do the damage they were going to do, hurt the people they were going to hurt, do all kinds of wicked and nasty stuff. So, with everything you see already going on, you have to ask yourself, isn't this fascinating? Now, interestingly enough, and again for everybody out there, while everybody thinks that everything is over, well, actually, let's just put it this way. Here's the thing. The cattle rustling has been stopped for the moment. That's the part it's not necessarily even over. It's just they're going to have to figure out, like the old Wicked Witch of the West, how can we get away with this thievery, my pretty? These things must be done delicately. Now, they're in motion. First of all, on media that everybody can see that's run all over the place, an example of the communist tan shirts and the communists operating in American soil retreating was caught on film. Now, people, I'm going to tell you right now that, and everybody does understand, first of all, ignore the naysayers and the whiners and the wheezers. There's a bunch of characters. It was the big plan. It was all, shut up. Here's the problem. There are certain people that are in the patriot effort, but they're not in the patriot effort. Their job is to negative no matter what. Their job is to work for the enemy. If you pay attention, a lot of the BS is done no matter what the hell you do. It was in the big plan. It was in the big plan. It's futile to resist. They're going to mutilate you. Y'all need to pee your pants and just roll over and let them kick you in the crotch. If you listen to these fools right from the get-go, the big plan is that everybody's going to die if they're there, and everybody's going to be mutilated in America, and I've got an insider that says the big plan. Well, here's the kicker on that one. Bottom line is the bad guys are used to the idea that 100% victory is the only option. See, that's the part about the Hollywood scam that they've got going with their pea brains, that apparently with everybody it's like a 2-hour movie piece of BS where 100% victory and it's going to be short, it's so decisive, it's like V for Vendetta. No, and even with the movie / the book / the propaganda, the real world goes on after the 2-hour block. Okay? Number one. Let's shake our brains here on this one. Let's look around at reality. See, that's like, these sparkling and dynamic events that take place. Well, as long as you understand they're part of a timeline and part of history, and history moves on, life moves on, you're doing just fine. Okay, number one. But these fools, not fools, I can't say that. There's a whole clique of characters all bunched together here. It was all in the big plan. Yeah, you guys succeeded, but it was in the big plan. You're all going to die. My boss has told me to tell you that I got an insider and you're all going to die, no matter what. Well, if that's the case, see, here's the thing about this. Listen to what they're saying. They're telling you that the big plan is that they plan on killing you and that they're going to mutilate you. Then you have nothing to lose by standing your ground and drawing a line and kicking their teeth in and killing as many as you can. Right? No, you need to all be panty waist and pee in your pants right now. You all need to be terrified. And remember, it was in the big plan. Yeah, there's 4 steps and 25 little steps, and it was all part of this big, they're figuring things out. Shut up. Number one, again, the bad guys don't give ground. Their logic is that the green weenies, like the people you hear, will be in everybody's ear going, oh, y'all let him kill that guy. Everybody do the Gandhi thing. If y'all do the Gandhi thing, they'll be so awe-inspired by your Gandhi thing that they'll just throw their hands up and, they'll take their truncheon and their clubs and their dogs and their tasers and their guns and their, fill in the blank, and they'll just all go home. Well, we did have Mr. X from down there in the border with the Arizona Militia in the afternoon. Actually, we talked to the guys about both the idea that the troops are there. There are 2 different elements. Number one, there's the mobile elements, as I've explained before. The guys that are in the field, they're not going to link up with protesters. They're not there to protest. They're not there for the warm fuzzy and holding the signs and telling the bad guys that this is like V for Vendetta, and you're just going to be so awe-inspired, because they weren't. They weren't awe-inspired by the protesters. They weren't. They were awe-inspired by the idea that the protesters, a percentage are backed up by rifles and pistols, and the only thing that they listened to were the guns. Now, when the cavalry moved forward, let's just remember it's a combined arms team. Cavalry don't work by itself. Everybody understand that? Even in a regular military situation, per se, mechanized forces don't work by themselves. And if you pay attention, I've noticed that everybody that's been playing the videos, they can show a lot more footage. In fact, there's a lot of raw footage out there. I told everybody, pay attention to all of the periphery. What is it that they were worried about? Well, obviously, we pressed the line. We've done this before. This is what works. Now, I'll tell you, in the past, unarmed? No. That's nice. They did the warm fuzzy thing, but the only reason the warm fuzzy thing worked is because, well, all those guys with rifles and handguns. Because if they started, the fools were cluster screwed to begin with. They had no place to go, and they know just as well as anybody else does that it's equal opportunity dying time in an infantry action out in the middle of the desert. Despite everybody immediately going, well, they got dronatoids and helicopters and whatever. Well, fine. The ones who were up front there who thought they were going to be Billy Badbutt, who got all their spiffy gear, well, their spiffy gear would be bleeding and leaking, okay? And it'd be busted. And they know it. And they wouldn't be sure who would be the one to get it first, but I mean, none of them look like they were all that well, shall we say, protected. Yeah. Because they get to play dance. It's we call the dance of swords. It's one of those things where it's equal. And that's what nobody wants to talk about. We've got all these people afterwards doing the, it was all planned, it's futile, it was blah, blah. Oh, shut up. Yeah. Don't listen to those fools. I'm tired of it. I'm to the point now where here's the rule. There are characters who, no matter what happens, are there to be negative because they work for the other side. They work for either the shysters or they work for the the government working for the shysters now. Okay, it's that simple. And if you can't pick that out, you need to pay attention. Always the Weezer routine, no matter what. It was the big plan. I talked to an insider with Homeland Security, and he said, you're all going to die. I would remind everybody again, and that's something I've repeated from the get-go, this is something we learned long ago, decades ago, and we perfected this based upon the idea that we've deployed militia time and time again. What you saw in the videos, let me point something out. Joe, how long have I been doing radio?
A mighty long time.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. How many standoffs I participated in as a militiaman? I mean, how many hundred? Literally. Didn't get any controlled news media coverage, but the Patriot movement knows. Many people out there listening, a couple of them are over in Iraq, over in Afghanistan right now, know full well that they've watched personally with me the enemy retreat. What you saw at the Bundy Ranch got caught on film exactly like what we've described to you we have done over and over again in victories we have had in the past. This is what's comical. Look at what happened here. This is not new. For the same reason from the get-go, it's like I said, this is not a 2-hour movie. This is a lifetime epic. Now, when the enemy backs off, they don't like it. They'll try to stir the pot. But the problem is, and this is where the impression upon the state and the county is so critical, that when you do back them off, you make sure that all the other players understand if you continue to participate, if they try to escalate it anymore, you're going to be treated the same on the road no matter where you are when we get into a war here. And you're all on your own. You live out here with us. See, that's been the most common problem that people forget and they don't want to listen to is you better be talking to the locals and explain, you know what, you stop here at the coffee shop and you think you're safe. If you guys start siding with these POSs and screwing the American people, you'll be shot in your car or stuck in your donut without you having a clue when it's going to happen or how it happened because you'll be dead and gone. Number one. That's one of the rules that the locals need to be divided away by and make them understand. You live here. Those other fools don't. This character that pushed down the woman, real quick, it's not a surprise that he's from Oregon. Think about Seattle, Washington. Think about anywhere on the left coast, California.
Well, you can imagine how that works. They go in, does anybody want to go to this? And these guys volunteer. And, and if they get hurt, they go, oh, you know, he got hurt on the job. He has a wife and family. You know, he's just doing, you know. Here's what I'm tired of. You know, I'm really sick of a fed of this, man. A continuous train of emails, you know, coming out. You know, we need this, we need that. There's nobody to talk to. And you have these sensationalists, these showboaters, you know,
jumping up in the microphone screen.
Yeah, you know, like the one guy, I watched some film footage there. Other guy is, oh, hey, I got something to tell you. You know, this is all just a test, man. They were gathering information. They got pictures of everybody. You know, it's that propaganda. Let's instill some paranoia here so that people can, you know, be afraid. I mean, that's what the whole film was about. I'll give you more news later on tonight. You know, okay. If I were standing down there, I would hope that you're taking my picture, you know, and get whatever information you want of me. It doesn't matter because you're at a point where it all or none of it matters.
Well, here's the kicker on this too, guys. Let me ask a basic question. Why did you not expect people to be taking pictures on all sides if you went down, if you go anywhere?
Right. Okay, so here you go and you make a video, you know, basically, oh, they got this on you, and they did this Psyop thing, and you know, but you know, okay, what's this guy's background? It's like another Steve Quayle, man. We know everything, but we don't know nothing. We just think of it, make it up, and throw it out there.
And we're doomed. Yeah, Remember, we're always doomed.
Well, that's what the whole film.